Hey, how's it going? I have some cards I want to read. I'm sorry, not yet. I'm not doing that video yet. First, I'd like you to look at my signs. Okay, did you look? So, I want to do a Spirit TV Critic video today that I've been talking about that was upcoming, and it's on the 2019 Netflix miniseries Unbelieveable. And it stars Caitlin, oh shoot, I believe her name is pronounced Deaver, Toni Collette, Merritt Weaver, oh my goodness, okay. So, you will know Toni Collette from a number of shows and movies. For some reason, the one that's coming to mind, and I can't even remember all of it, it was like the United States of somebody, and she played somebody with, I think, multiple personality condition. Anyway, so you know who that is, and Caitlin Deaver. See, here's the problem I'm having, because this Caitlin Deaver, and the problem I'm having is because I'm afraid I'm mispronouncing her last name, because with names, grammar just doesn't always work, because it's a name. That is why. It could be spelled any way or pronounced any kind of crazy way that might not be apparent as you're looking at it. So this is not that. The first actress's last name is spelled Dever. You could go Dever, but I don't think that's right, because grammatically my brain tells me Dever would have two V's. This is Dever. So Dever. And then the next actress whose name I'm going to, or actor whose name I'm going to read off, she's also in, not Substance, oh my god, Severance, and she plays Dylan G's wife, Gretchen, and her name is Merritt Weaver, or Weaver, I don't know, because it's spelled Wever, like Caitlin Dever's name. And I was having this whole discussion with myself before I started that went like this. I get annoyed, kind of, when, like, an entertainment reporter particularly, or like a historian, like if someone whose job it is to talk about people and say their names, I just feel like it's your professional duty, and also respectful, to learn how to pronounce their name properly, the way they would say it. And the way that you would do this, which I have to, full disclosure, say, I didn't do it. Like, just before I started doing this, when I could have, you can go find out how do you know how the person pronounces their name. You have to go to, like, interviews where, with the interviewer, like the entertainment reporter, for example, is interviewing the subject whose name is in question. The person themselves either needs to say their name, which you can find that, but you have to search. But that wouldn't be hard. You just put so-and-so saying their name in the search bar. Or you could do, like, it the tedious way that I was just saying, and just sit there and go through interviews. And I think that's where my brain was, because I knew I was not sure how to pronounce Merritt Dever's name. And I really like her. I mean, I really like this actor, because she's also in Nurse Jackie, which I actually have not seen, and I should, because it's one of the shows that people were raving about, which usually makes me go, oh god, I don't think I want to see it. But that wasn't why I didn't watch it. I think I didn't have cable when it was on, and then I've just forgotten about it. But it was kind of interesting for reasons. But that's not the point. Merritt was in it. I'm just not even going to try to say the last names anymore. I just don't want to screw them up. So anyway, I don't know why I didn't just do so-and-so actors saying their own name in the search bar, but that is a way to do it. I don't know. I feel like I really believe in that, and yet I didn't do it myself. Perhaps because I'm not on a payroll. That also would straighten me right up, too, and I would really then be motivated to be, like, extra super on my professionalism in that regard. Anyway, so yes, Merritt is in Severance, and then she's also in this Unbelievable series. And so the reason why I like her so much as an actor is her delivery. Like, in Severance and Unbelievable, she's in, like, really stressful situations as this woman that she's playing, and she's very soft-spoken, and her whole demeanor is just very calm, and it's almost weird. Like, I mean, I gotta believe that that's kind of how she actually is as well, like, as a person, but that doesn't mean that she's, like, catatonic or, like, drugged or something. She's just, I don't know. I just feel like she's very calming, like flowing water. That is what's coming to mind, like a babbling brook, you know? And I think that works for her in her roles. So, this is like a second part, like it's not an official part 2 or anything, but it is a second time that I'm revisiting this subject of women navigating in a man's world, but coming out at the other end, like starting out, like you get kind of like the backstory and things or whatever, and then plot starts to happen, and then in most cases for these women in these shows, there's a lot of like not good stuff that happens, and that's how life also is. But, you know, they go through the things and they come out of the other end on these shows with some loss and some damage that sometimes is irreparable. But most of the times it isn't, and that's part of, like, the hopefulness of going forward, is that you either get to see them start out or on their way to making such drastic changes in their lives at their own hands that I just found it very satisfying and fulfilling to see, because a lot of times all you get is like the beaten down and broken part and the wounded and all of the crying, and you just don't want to look at yourself all the time that way. And I don't relate to shows so much, except for that kind of thing. Like, if someone, no matter who they are, is suffering some form of injury, I feel that. So that, yeah, I guess I look for that kind of connection in people and in what I'm viewing, like recreationally, basically. But I don't have that thing of not seeing my race represented. Like, I don't know, maybe on some level it bothers me, but I read and see. Actually, I've never really talked to anyone that said, TV makes me so depressed because I don't see enough other black people. I have never heard anyone say that. Maybe I have not been in that room. I don't know. But I have read a lot this thing about, especially children. Like, there's, no other kids that look like me on TV. I never had that thought. I'm just making an observation. So anyway, it's not about me. But those shows together, just especially right now when like we are as women are, I feel, more under attack and the blame for so many things that we're not actually, the ones at fault. And a lot of times it's not even stuff that is a matter of being at fault. It's just like we like have things happen to us in life, and the way we respond to them is sometimes like, I feel like when you respond, you're more relaxed and open to sort of seeing that, yes, something is happening to you, and maybe it's like major or catastrophic or something, but you're somehow to be very calm and have the presence of mind to just like, okay, well, this is happening so fast that I almost can't get out of the way of it, and I don't know what, but something is about to happen majorly here. And it's like that thing where if you're in a car accident and there's a drunk driver in your car and you're like the sober passenger, you may come out in 40,000 broken pieces, and the driver just gets out like Gumby. Nothing happened. Like, what? We hit something? It's like, I don't know why that is, but it's something about the physical state you're in that I guess if you're tensed when you see it coming, maybe the way to like get through it and even survive it whole, even maybe, who knows, is to just be like, okay, go ahead, Boulder, just crush me. I can't run fast enough. Why? Just, so now I'm lost. Why? I don't know even what led me to there. So let me try and find my way back. Oh, right. Yeah, like, I was kind of appalled to learn that if he has his way, I suppose that now if you marry or change your last name from your birth certificate birth name, a woman can lose her right to vote? Bad woman, get in the corner and cook and baby make. Like, hi, caveman, what? Yeah, I mean, pulling out the laws from the 1700s to make sure that I can't decide not to have the child of someone who overpowered me physically and assaulted me with their Johnson. No. I don't like that. And it wouldn't apply to me. I'm too old and I don't have most of the wetware to bear children anymore, but I don't like the feeling that I'm getting from the words coming out of these people's mouths, man. You need to knock that off. We are not cattle. And even outside of that, man, these are some bossy people. Like, get a life of your own and go pay attention to that, if please. So, I know that was very emotional and not not very much fact related information, but I'm a woman. I get a little hysterical. So I took some notes and I'm just going to read to you what I have about this Unbelievable series. And that's not them. Just a second. Oh, here we go. Okay. It's kind of dark in here. I like it that way, though. Okay, here we go. Unbelievable is a Netflix series that is the... I'm just gonna read it. I'm just gonna read it like I wrote it. It's a Netflix series that will be the second part of my look at women's lives in a man's world. By that I mean a world where men have always dominated, constantly aggressive, possessive, and obsessive over material concerns and territory. For millennia, it's been mainly males who've constructed societies and the structures to contain them. They've also dominated women in our lives, deciding who is acceptable and desirable and who is not. What is acceptable for us and everyone to think? They, men, have set the tone that is so very narrow in scope that it's created a constrictive, claustrophobic existence if one can't easily conform to all of the restriction. That's the period. Let me put a punctuation on there. I'm going to jump to another paragraph here. That's the problem. Oh, that's problematic for many of we women. Those of us who don't, for whatever reason, can't or don't conform. The point is, we have a lot of hoops. This is not to say that no one else does, but they're not the ones I mean right now. I mean women. In Unbelievable, the lead character lives beneath so many layers of oversight, the feeling is palpable. The location she lived in, the grayness of the sky from the low clouds overhead lend a certain uncertainty and solemnity to her and her story. Her case of choosing, under force almost, to not explain her victimhood to a pair of men who, like scores who preceded them, are completely undisturbed by the plight of women who have been assaulted by men. This is not SVU, like, at all. If you see it clearly, they're not. And the officers, though, that play them are actors that you will have definitely seen, character actors, and one is Eric Lang, and he has played a lot of, I'm trying to get a bigger photograph of him, sketchy CIA types. I want to get a better look at him. It's a small picture, so I'm not going to try and show you with my phone to the phone. But now that I've gotten a better look at him, yes, he has definitely played, like, God, I can't think of any of the movies right now or shows, but there's been a lot of them. It's like, what is the man's name? He's so nice. There's a character actor that I can't remember his name, Curry Graham, and he's played so many, like, mundane evil functionaries that you almost feel like that's the guy, but he's not. Like, I've had the pleasure of having a couple of very short online conversations with him, and he's very nice. He's very pleasant, and I think he's Canadian, by the way, just a sort of a topical mention. But that guy is one of the actors that you would know, Chris Lang. Let me get the cast back. Oh, sorry, not Chris Lang, Eric Lang, with an E, Lang with an E, and then the other detective. There were two actually, and one of them. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, oh my God, it's Patrick Starr. So Bill Fagerback is one of them. And then Dang, where's the other dude? No, that's not him. That's a younger guy. This guy, he just is like, by the time it gets to the part where he realizes, and this is part of what was so satisfying and fulfilling about it, was it really came home to this officer what a clod he was in dealing with this young woman. I mean, fuck, oops, the hell? So yeah, anyway, I was just informed by my phone that I have no internet. That should not be the case, since I definitely paid the bill. Where's this guy's name? Oh my goodness, and I can't, he's been in so many things. Is this him? Oh, that's not it. Sorry, I don't mean to be taking so long. Come on, phone. Oh my gosh, I guess I really am not connected to the internet. Well, what the friggin' hell, man? Why? It says it's on. I don't know. Anyway, let me get back to it. If I can find the other actor's name, come on now. Wait a minute. I don't understand. There we go. Oh man, why is IMDb blacking me out? Oh, there it is. Okay. That was weird. Well, anyway, I'll try and remember to put the other actor's name in the description with the afterthought comments, because he actually has a pretty large role in it, and you will have seen him everywhere. So anyway, let me get back to what I was reading. In Unbelievable, the lead character lives between so many layers. Okay, I got that part already. Okay. Her case of choosing, under force almost, to not explain her victimhood to a pair of men who, like scores who preceded them, are completely undisturbed by the plight of women who have been assaulted by men. That happens when decisions are made by people not themselves. Oh, for people not themselves. That happens when decisions are made for people not themselves. In this case, for women by men. Just sticking to what concerns women have and leaving the just sticking to what concerns. Good grief, my internet in my brain is off. Just sticking to what concerns women have and leaving out race and income. There is so much to living as a woman that men either completely misunderstand or are completely oblivious of. Small things a man would likely dismiss based on the lack of size, but that a woman would probably view as appropriately sizable. In many cases, they involve navigating safely and unmolested in a man's world. There are so many potentials that may seem like nothing to a man interacting with a woman, bright and sunlit, when for us, that interaction might feel like the dead of night in a dead-end alley in a sketch neighborhood, and then the man's words and actions in their sunlight are to us a threat. The same as a knife or a gun. men, can manipulate situations because they built the structures and framework that supports them, from buildings to systems that require people to operate them, often women. Life in a man's world can be a nesting set of traps and enclosures, and I bet men see none of it the same way or at all. Introduce the factors I left out, and the whole S show becomes Essier. If that sounds miserable, then you now have a sense of how the young woman in question in this show feels. I mean, it's just a show, and I often have to remind myself because I get so, I guess, sucked in and emotional and start relating to stuff so hard that I just end up feeling awful. Yeah, I just end up feeling awful, but that kind of is like, I have to salute the screenwriter and the cinematographer and the musicographer. I lost the word. All of those things combined, if they can just make me an emotional mess. Good job. You've done fine work. And so, understand that was all like kind of dark and dramatic, but you can feel that way in a room like full of people under neon light, or not neon lights, fluorescent lights. You can be I hate to say made to feel that way, because we would like to have control enough over ourselves to not let anyone make us feel any kind of way, because good luck, because sometimes people are making an effort to make you feel some kind of way. You get in situations where someone says something to you, or like puts a hand on you some kind of way, and they shouldn't if they have not been invited to, or if the situation is not appropriate for it. For instance, something inappropriate would be they're married, something like that, or you're at work, or your best friend is their girlfriend, and then sometimes the situation will be such that this person who is like just bulldozing boundaries left and right feels like they don't want you to mention the interaction with other people, and so it becomes a threat. And yeah, I mean, you could be on the beach at noon and it's dark. It gets dark when those words are said, and then like a cloud with some wind behind it, it floats off, but it's it's there. It's a threat, and it's a feeling. So I mean, if you have not had to experience that in your life, God bless you, and where can I get me some? But it happens. And the thing about it is I feel like it's kind of the whole purpose of living is to go through all of these emotions and wring from them, like, whatever we can, like, brew the experiences, or steep them rather, and yeah, the resulting brew is what you got left to, I don't know, work with going forward. I don't know, it's just, just really emotional woman right now. Let me get it together. Seriously though, I thought it was well constructed. I think probably way more realistic than Law and Order SVU, by the way. I recommend it. So that's it. Thank you and good night.